everyone, and welcome to this unboxing video for Nemesis, Aftermath, and Void Cedars. As it says on the box, this is the stretch goal box! Yay! This is all the stretch goals that were not things that were, let's update the core game more. And this is part of the second wave of the game. Woo! I have two other videos for this. One is the non-stretch goal expansion, and the other one, well, you'll have to see that video. But I've actually seen what's inside this. I, funny enough, went to my gaming store. My friend who runs the store just had their copy come in and was digging through it. So, no surprises here for me, but maybe for you. Regardless, let's get into this. So, this is where all the extra characters are. One of the two new enemy types being the Void Cedars. And I believe the second campaign guide. Which, from seeing them interacting with it, it plays entirely different from the first one. So, we've got the expansion manual, and this is for an epilogue kind of thing. Well, this is just, here's a bunch of new monsters. I don't know if they're intended to replace or add on to afterwards. Oh, okay. I was just wondering this. Apparently they crammed the medic in here. He didn't get the medic, and thus it wasn't in there, but that took a bit of figuring out. I couldn't remember if I did. I did check before this, and it's like, okay, but I expected it to be its own box. Regardless, so there will be 6 characters in here. We've got some turret tokens for one of the characters. And we've got the 3 of the new rooms, which are all number 2 rooms. Some new icons, and we've got both the android, which I think is kind of meant to be the mascot character of the game, even though it didn't come with the core game, nor is it the one on the back of the character boards, and the CEO, who has a little robot helper, and by little I mean not so little. Then we've also got the psychologist, and the bounty hunter, who has a dog, like, bark, bark. Another room, and then some other icon kind of things, more tokens, more bodies, larva-like tokens. Oh, no, that's intruder bodies. That's bodies. And then these look to go with the robots, which my guess is were originally printed here. Oh, that's interesting. So I have no idea what these are, but these are not the intruder evolution bag tokens. They're just warnings on both sides, as well as the convict and our Void Cedar board, which is very similar to the intruder board, because we don't need to use a non-copyright infringement name. The others are kind of different, or at least that one's kind of different enough. The other one screams Dead Space. Then we've got a new tiny board, which I think is meant for the epilogue. Some gel packets. I keep those around, actually, to dry things out if ever needed. And then we move on to the rest of the game. And yeah, the medic's just crammed right in there. This might actually be a entirely different tray. She even comes with her own ring, like base ring. For those that don't know, the medic was the early bird pledge bonus. Awaken Realms, who are the people who make this game, which they often do with a lot of their games, like back in the first 24, 48 hours and get a relatively cheap thing for free. Like, this one was like maybe $10, which compared to the rest of the game was cheap. But yeah, I didn't. They do always let you add that stuff on, but I'll get to that in a bit. So, ooh, I thought this was part of the other thing. So, first off, we've got a miniature for the first player token. Cat in a spacesuit. No floating Cheetos, but it's adorable. Then we've got a sand timer, which I just heard the rules for this earlier. Oh, is this encouraged heavily in the normal mode, co-op, because it's not, oh, this is your turn. Oh, hey, I finished my turn. Boop! You better hurry up. And then just back and forth, so unless it's somewhere in the middle, oh, you're just being an ass if you pass real quick. And then it's got some other stuff to it. Then we've got what looks like an egg base. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't notice that in my friend's copy. By the way, his was Sun-Dropped version. For those that don't know, that's their like dry brush ink wash, simple paint job that you can get in their Kickstarters. I think I want to paint. I like to paint myself, but it was definitely decently done for the price difference. And I recommend it if you don't want to paint yourself, but I don't really want a too detailed job. Then we've got some of the Void Cedars. There's 6 of these, which is interesting because they usually don't do that many of one model. Ooh, man, those do not want to go in there decently. How does that fit? Like, I'm afraid I'm just going to break it. Oh, there we go. We've got 4 of these, and they've actually got models underneath, so which are definitely bigger than the others. They're closer to the size of the standing intruders. Oh, the smaller ones even have models underneath some of them. That's slightly annoying. Speaking of which, those are the turrets, which I don't know why there's cardboard versions, but I believe the plastic versions are guaranteed. They all look the same, and there's a few of them at least. Some more of the eggs are also hidden, which is interesting because one just sits on top of nothing. Then we've got a larger Void Cedar who's kind of just hanging from the structure. I do love with the larger ones that they include structures and stuff around it, although they don't with this next one, which I'm guessing is a Void Cedar Queen. It has no base. When I saw my friend's version, I thought the base had broken off because there was also a model underneath, and I thought that was the base at first. But it does stay balanced, so base isn't really necessary. And speaking of that model underneath, it's the dog! Bork, 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 bork. Yeah, they really crammed this box. If it doesn't fit, cram harder. Alright, then moving on, we've got the character that goes with the dog, the bounty hunter. I'm guessing, nope, this is the psychologist. For a second there I wanted to say the cyborg, who, at least, then, or android, which I believe is this one. Although the image doesn't really match the pose or outfit. Then we've got the CEO. The helper robot is actually part of the base, which is what I found really cool about it. I'm guessing he has cards that revolve around having a helper android, but yeah. The convict looks grungy as fuck and like he's just on the move. And then with her ring already attached, and I won't be surprised if this space is actually here, but nothing's there in other people's versions that they didn't order it, for the medic. So I'll take that off later and just add it to the rest of them in the core game. I can say right now before I get to the cards, this tray does not feel nearly as nicely done as the core game in terms of storage. Like, you already heard the one moment in which I was having trouble putting a model away, and things feel like they're in there a little too tight. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to break pieces taking them in or out. It's not bad. It still has a space for everything, but it worries me. So, on to cards. We've got some small cards, which you can already tell are some more gear, searchable cards, I should say. Not gear, although potentially gear. Gear's not really so much a thing in this game. Like, your characters are technically already geared out for the most part, or they have their stuff on them. So, first we've got some Void Seeker weaknesses, just like the Intruders had. Solid bulkheads, rational thinking, reaction to danger, weakness apparition, strong convictions, determination, wave of calm, and mental fortitude. healing. So I'm guessing they're psychological monsters. Then we've got insanity tracks, which are all the same, and they only go to 5. They also have the various intruder icons on them. Then we move on to some character cards. Like we've got the robot being card of its own for the CEO, pod override, ship codes, arm gun for the android, emergency energy cell, deactivation module. Then for the psychologist, we've got an energy pistol, oculodrone, a motion scanner. Oh god, that would be so helpful. And then for the bounty hunter, we've got the Rifle 247, or 247, Seek Mode and Aggro Override for the dog, still classified as the Bounty Hunter's cards. The Convict has Cuffs as an actual usable item. Oh, no, this actually gets in the way. Can be discarded only by using Cuff Keys. Because he's got a 4th card, which is Cuff Keys. But Pipe, Augmented Arm, and, well, the Cuff Keys. Then we get into some items, specifically crafted items, with the combat drone, environment suit, and laser pointer. Pew pew! Get the cat to chase it. Does it change the first player marker? Or first player, because the first player marker is the cat in the spacesuit. Alright, then we've got some... Oh, I'll hold these off when I get to the action cards, but here's what I was actually looking for. So, the meta cards are packed in here separately and in more of a sticky pack rather than a vacuum seal, which I prefer. I prefer anything over cards being put in a vacuum seal, especially the tighter the plastic is. It's just a pain in the ass. So, since I just went through the item cards for the other characters, I'm going to do this one. And she's got a needle gun, combat drugs, and surgery kit. I hope her healing abilities are decent, but not overpowered. Because it would be nice to have some healing. And it looks like we've got some new event cards and possibly the trait cards. So I don't know how you integrate them, but there are trait cards in here that are for the current and original characters. But we've got some new event cards like Generator Overheat, Computer System Failure, Evacuation Pod Ejection. That sucks. Fuel Explosion, Fire Wave, Ship AI Failure. That does not sound good. I might actually... Nope. Okay, these are 2 different cards. They're both named Whisper, but they've got different icons across the top, which have to do with the monsters. Because this is... Event cards are also the monster AI spawn and kind of stuff like that. The number being the direction that they move, if they move, and the icons being which ones actually do things. 3 copies of Terror, 2 copies of Fear, 3 copies of Hunt, 2, 3. Neurosis? Oh, that's yummy. Agoraphobia? Oh, that's never fun. Monophobia? I actually don't know what that means. And then it looks like we get into the character cards? No, we have some cards that are referred to as alerts. Never seen this before. Okay, they all have the same image on them, which is the captain, I think, staring at a terminal, really worried. They do have player counts to them, so some of them don't use at such and such player count, but they all look to be 4+, none of them are 5+. They are all 2+, though, so none of these are solo. Escape Control, Disarming the Bomb, Decontamination Protocol, Recovery Sample, Get Fuel, Kill the Alpha, Decaying Sample, Map Update, Goo Examination, Scrambled Eggs for a Billion. That feels like a Jeopardy reference. And then more event cards, although these are tied to the alerts, I think, which I have a feeling these might involve the new scenario book. Or they set off alerts, because these 2 have alert icons, but not all of them do. Egg hatching, royal ceremony, has the queen, And that model is still amazing. Slimy, dripping. Oh, I kind of thought those were the same two cards, but they're not. Warbling? Like, warbling or warbling? Oh. Sparks, screeching, adaptability. Infested supplies, yummy. And maneuver. And we've got some new serious wounds. Melted, yummy. And then, yeah, we get into the traits. Which, because I don't know how these work, I'm not really going to go over them, but it does seem like there's one here for each character except the medic, who I'm guessing is with her own stuff. I'm guessing they just took advantage of being able to put it in here. Because these boxes actually generally leave a lot of space for cards, because I know the core game, the tray literally says on it, like it's vacuum, part of the vacuum molding of the tray, save this space for sleeve cards. I don't see that here, but I also haven't moved all the cards. And then it looks like we get into the character action cards. Yes, I'm going to read off some of these. The ones that I skip are the basic ones that are repeated from regular stuff. So it looks like the robot has its own cards with the CEO, and the CEO's deck seems to be a larger deck. It seems to be 13 cards instead of, if I recall, 10. But we've got a couple copies of Protect, also a couple copies of Robotic Punch. Just one more thing! And the rest seem to be the same. Oh, no, also Stop It and Authority. Then the android has Self-Repair, Direct Access, Arm Tablet, and Efficiency. Kind of things I'm skipping are stuff like Search, Rest, Demolition. Stuff that was already cards in the other characters. Now, these copies aren't necessarily the same from one character to the next, but like the art always fits the character, and also has the name. That's how you know which one goes with which. But also, some of them, it's like the name's the same, but one character might be more efficient at than the other. The Psychologist seems to have... God, really? As much as I'm not a big fan of the series, I love this reference. Would you kindly... I like the original BioShock. Can't stand Infinite. Lend a hand and don't panic. I really want to see how these characters play. This will probably reinvigorate my friends wanting to play it. One of the big reasons we stopped was we started the campaign mode, and that has permadeath in it. And this game is still really easy to die in, but you can always bring in new characters. Basically, each character that you have is an extra life. So, we wanted to wait till this came in. The Bounty Hunter has Taking Aim, Tactical Move, which while existed in others wasn't a lot of. Go Girl, dog. Sentinel. So, there's that. I think most of that has to do with the unlockable equipment cards, the dog, that is. And then the Convict has I Need This. Doink. Short Temper, Catch This, and Bash with a nice exclamation mark. Let me go ahead and open up the Medics cards and take a look. Yep, here's her trait, Ultras. Makes sense. Let me throw that in with the other trait cards. They gave me 2 copies of the character draft card, one of which is just packed on its own. Wonder if something's wrong with one, or they just did that. Whatever. I just want to point out real quick, so she's got a gas mask on, both in her model and I think all of her cards, except Rest. So I just wanted to point out, like, it's not some cybernetic attachment or anything like that. But she's got Pharmacist, Field Dressing, and ER. And just thinking about the kind of things you can do in this game normally, that might be awesome. Yeah, that's all the new action cards. That's a lot. And then we've got one more deck of cards. Come on. Some new summary cards with They're double-sided, and, well, they're referred to as help cards. And it looks like it's for multiple different versions. Yep. Okay, so it's Void Seer help cards and Epilogue Mode Aftermath help cards, which is what this was. It was two separate things. So the Void Seer and the other expansion I'll get to in another video were basically, we as a community had a choice of which one was going to be a stretch goal, and then the other one got added later. Similar to what happened with, if anybody paid attention to a more recent Kickstarter of Bloodborne by Cool Mini or Not. Although that some multiple choices came up, and then all the ones that weren't chosen were made expansions. So there's 5 of each of those, because again, 5-player game. And then we've got a bunch of various Void Cedar attack cards. Ooh, and then we've got some panic cards, which I'm guessing have to do with the insanity track, because they've got this brain icon that was also on that, but it wasn't the track icon. And just like the first one is Pyromaniac. Ripping off the bandages. I'm just reading a couple of these. Heart attack. Where did they get that from? Darkest Dungeon? Still really need to play that more. And then we've got personal requirements, which look to be more like the things you have to make sure to get done in the game to, be able to pass. And then one that's labeled lucrative offer. And it says 1 player plus. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes with the CEO. Or is story-based. And it's just called lucrative offer on the front, while the others are just all sorts of different random stuff. With all ranging from 2 to 5 players. And the 5-player one is madness. At least one other character cannot survive. Remember, this game does technically have trader mechanics, but it's more of a aggression mechanic. I actually have yet to play with any of those because, honestly, me and my friends, we don't like hidden trader mechanics as much unless that's like the point of the game. So, Betrayal, and even then, I'm not a huge fan of that kind of stuff outside of Betrayal. And nor can I really stand playing Betrayal too much. Although I do love Baldur's Gate. Did an unboxing video for that a long time ago. Regardless, that seems to be everything for this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to press that like button. If you think somebody else will enjoy this, please share this video. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and press that dislike button. I won't mind, but please leave a constructive comment as to why. Also, feel free to comment in general, such as if you want to see any of this game in more details, like a board game overview, a review, how to play, let's plays, or painting videos for this. I have yet to paint the base game, and that's because I really just haven't settled on a paint scheme yet, and got busy with other painting stuff. But hey, people ask for it, I might be more encouraged to do it. And if you want to see more like this, be it more unboxing videos, my board game overviews, my painting videos, or anything else that I might do on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Regardless, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.